Just one last thing, Mike, about because you had mentioned potentially not having to be a BSA officer anymore.
I'm
So, but
not
I
trying to
think
put
you,
myself out of the job. I'm too close
right.
to the end to it, but
But I
it could
think
be.
you also brought up a good point about to some extent it's kind of like shifting the taking the low value stuff off the plate so that you then have room to move the high value stuff on the plate.
Mhm.
So do you kind of see because a lot of, you go around, you hear a lot of, maybe more junior staff in the business now is worried about what's going to happen to their job. We're talking about all these things that can be automated and all the great sort of value that's derived from that. Do you think it's just going to make your teams more powerful, right? More empowered to do, bigger and better things, things that are much more risk aligned? Or potentially, is it going to have more of a negative? It sounds like you see it as being more of a positive impact, taking
I
the
do look.
low value off the plate, bringing the higher value
If
on.
you
How do you see that?
if you were a farrier or took care of horses and the car came, the smart ones are the ones that figured out how to fix a car or drive one. So like that seems obvious now. At the time, it must have been awful. The entire economy built around horses. So that changed, and now we don't even think about that. So I think we're going through that just much faster and much harder to understand than a car was, right, at the time. So I think what you need to do is you need to skate towards the puck, which is I need to do the stuff that I'm really good at for as much time in the day as possible because my value is there. And also, what I'm finding is their passion is there. Nobody's like, hey, honey, guess what I did? I went home and I made 40 spreadsheets out of data from 20 systems today. It's, I found a bad guy. I got a woman's house back that had been stolen by someone in an EFE scam. The passion, the people get into this not just because it's a good job, it's because it's an interesting job that has social value. So where I'm looking, there are things that will go away for sure, but I don't see that as where the value of my team is. My team relative to the size of the bank is quite small, um, and we're very automated. So like I don't feel like I've got a lot of fat that like people are pressuring me to cut. I just see a lot of people that where they get their joy and where our program gets its mojo and its funding and where our jobs exist and where the social value that everybody signs up for is in that 20 to 30% where they're using their brains and their experience and their knowledge of the business and the clients. And this is what our clients want us to do too. We still have regulatory filings and all the less sexy parts of compliance. It's necessary. Um, get rid of as much of that as you can in an automated way, do it well and consistently, and then free up these guys to do that. So I don't see a bloodbath in there, at least at Fifth Third. I do think in areas where I mean, those institutions that have um, kind of maybe not embraced change over the last 10 years, there are some banks that are really looking at employing that because they're using quite large armies of people to do work that is already can be largely, if not completely automated. And that's a individual bank. But when I talk to my colleagues, I think most people are excited about this. And when I talk to my staff, I don't see fear. And I'm trying, and I would suggest, because I know there's a lot of leaders on this call, like you need to be marketing that to your people. Like if you're afraid of it and you stick your head in the sand, you're probably gonna not like what happens. But step back and forget the technology. What's your value to this place, to our customers, to our shareholders, the society you got into this business to, protect, and to your paycheck, which is another reason, probably the first that we all do most jobs. And it's going to be something that isn't about the stuff that this technology will replace. It's making you better. And no one got a reward for doing more spreadsheets, but plenty of people got a bonus for finding a bad guy, right? Or saving someone's savings from a fraudster. Think about that. And if you think about it that way, I'm personally finding people do a lot of stuff. And now I've got folks coming, maybe not in advanced AI, but it's very like power apps, like simple stuff that you get in your Microsoft package, like building things that automate SAR processes. Like there's kind of an excitement of people saying, like, this is technology I don't have to be a techie to use. And I'm finding, at least here, that people are embracing it. And as long as you reward people and celebrate those wins, even of very basic automation, the big steps when agentic and stuff like that will come more easily. Plus, it's on all of our phones. They're using Copilot for their meetings, and we're all banks. All of our online banking apps has you're not talking to a person. So if you're using it for your own money, probably using it at work is not as scary as you think.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the goal is truly to become more effective, there's going to be more than enough work. I mean, we're certainly not perfect in tackling money laundering and tackling the
Yep, there you
criminals and all
go.
of their behavior. So there's definitely going to be more than
I'm an
enough work
optimist.
to
I'm a
go
rare
around.
BSA officer that's an optimist. So, but I try.